What's up, Chad? Everybody's saying ICC doesn't work, so I'm finna show you that it does. Mind you, I'm the guy who flipped a $600 account to $8,000 in less than 2 months using ICC. So let's show how ICC worked today. We actually started a new challenge. I went to a prop firm because I want to be able to say I flipped money in a live in my own self personal funded account, and I also flipped money in a funded account. So actually, I played on a fund today, and we made $900. So let's talk about how I made $900 trading ICC today. So let's go over the full breakdown like y'all were in the markets with me this morning, okay? Boom. If I come into the markets this morning, this is what I see. We have this high right here on the 1 hour, okay? Remember, if something goes above that high, what is that? That's an indication. So right here, we have an indication, okay? Indication. So what am I looking for, right? Right here's your indication. This is your indication right here. Make this a little bigger so y'all can see it. So right here, that's your indication. I spelled that wrong. Damn. All right, right there, that's your indication, right? So boom. So let's go down to lower time frame so y'all can see a little better. Damn. Sorry. All right. Let's go down to lower time. What the hell? Let's go down to lower time frame so y'all can see a little better now. So right here, this is your indication, okay? Indication. Boom. Indication right here. All right. So what do we want to see? We want to see the market do this, right? Back under here and take buys above here. That's what I want to see, okay? Now let me tell you what the problem of this doing it today. So mind you, this is at 710, right? So the thing about it is, it did that at 715, 720. Now me personally, I don't trade the markets before 730 because look, sometimes 730 will hit it and wake you out, stop you out. So right here, the move happened. So now it's like, damn. And watch what happens when the move happened. So this right here is your correction, right? Your correction happened right here. So this right here is your correction. Back under this line. And then as it's coming up, above this line is your continuation. That's ICC. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Okay? Don't make it harder than it needs to be, chat. That's ICC. That's your continuation. Now, the reason why this trade was kind of hard to take today is because at 7:30, when I would usually take a trade, the market boomed up. But let me show you a little something of why I love fair value gaps, okay? So a lot of people would see this and be like, oh, I can't get into nothing. Let me close my charts. Not somebody like me, okay? What I'm going to do is when the market comes up, it has to come down. You have to come back and grab money. And what is a fair value gap? A fair value gap is 3 consecutive lines. I like finding my fair value gap on the 5-minute or 15-minute. So 3 consecutive lines. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3. So this right here is a fair value gap. Rectangle. Fair value gap. Right? So we're already bullish because look at the charts, bro. Look at the charts. We're up above your ICC line. Like I'm already thinking buys. How do I get into this trade? How do I get into this trade since ICC already happened? I'm gonna wait for it to tap into a fair value gap. What does it do? Boom. We tap in this fair value gap right here. This is a tap. What will I do? So this we entered about right here when it closed, right? Buy. I think I went in like 8 cons on the funded. You put your stop loss below this. That's 556 risk, and you put your thing all the way about up here. You can put it at the top right here, or you can keep going. I'm gonna show y'all how to trail, right? I'm gonna show you how to trail, and watch what happens. Watch what happens when you use that fair value gap to your advantage. Boom, you hit TP. But Trey, why did that happen? Understand this. You have to find a way. It's okay to find a way to get back into the trade when you know which way the market is going. This much pressure doesn't happen if we're going to come all the way back down. Okay? This much pressure doesn't happen if we're going to come all the way back down. But market can't just go straight up. It has to go in waves. So what happens? So what are the waves that the market usually taps into? Fair value gaps. Shit, look right here. Look down here. It's a fair value, small fair value gap. It's a fair value gap right here. The market will tap into what's right here. Another fair value. This right here is a fair value gap. And look where you kept tapping into and then before going up. Fair value gaps move the market. Okay, fair value gaps. It'll tap into a fair value gap and go back up. So yes, we tap into this fair value gap. You put your stops right here. If the market wants to keep continuing, it should not go past this fair value gap. You feel me? And watch, and I want to show you guys this strat too. I call this the 5-minute strat. So remember, this is what we were aiming for right here, right? Let's cancel this out. So this is what we were aiming for right here. Remember? Because this was the highest point of the market at the time. Before that fair value gap hit, we were aiming for this up here. I'm going to show you how much money you can make if you use this 5-minute trail strategy. Because I know a lot of y'all are like, a lot of y'all say this. A lot of y'all be like, oh, Trey, it hit the top of my thing, but it kept going. How do I catch the whole move? This is how you catch the whole move. Let me show you this. So, boom, 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 boom. And then when it hits that red line, all right, wait till it hits the red line, and boom, it hit the red line. So the red line, that's your TP. This is what you do when it hits the red line every time you take a trade. If you want to catch the full move, we call this the 5-minute trailing stop, and you have to do this yourself. So each 5-minute candle, you move your stop. So once the candle closes, you move it to the next one. Once this candle closes, you move it to the next one. Once this candle closes, we move it to the next one. What? See? Now instead of catching only 11, 12, now you're at 1200. Boom, you move it to the next one. Watch what happens. Watch this. Okay, that one closed. You move it to the next one. Now instead of catching 1200, you caught 1220. Boom, you move it to the next one. Okay, so we get stopped out at 1264. Hold up. Let me put this back so y'all can see. So boom, you move it to the next one. Damn, I can't even do no more. But right here was where you would get stopped out at, because I think this next candle dropped down. So instead of making only like $1,000, you made $1,200 and you caught most of the move. Maybe you didn't catch all the way up here, but goddamn it, you caught damn near close to it. So every time it hits your TP, use the 5-minute in the trail. Because trust me, if you keep trailing after, it usually won't come back to that 5-minute candle until it's ready to come back down. And then watch what happens. I want to show y'all how good fair value gaps is. Right? How fair value gaps is. This is a fair value gap right here, right on the 5-minute, right? Watch what happens. Tap into this fair value gap, right? What do y'all? Oh my, what, bro? I can't even say. What do y'all think happens? Taps into this fair value gap right here, and what happens? We go crazy. Look at that. Boom. Watch this. Tap into this fair value gap right here. I don't know how this does it at the end of the day, but whatever. Oh, that's because market was closed right here, whatever. But so that one, this is market closure, so you wouldn't even play that. But boom, I just want to show y'all how fair value gaps work. Use fair value gaps to get back into trades, but don't use a selling fair value gap if you know the market is buying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So make sure to use your fair value. Make sure to use your fair value gaps. If the market is booming up like this, it's not going without you. It has to pull back, and if it pulls back to that fair value gap, and you see it close outside of that fair value gap, get into that. Get into that. See how it tapped and it closed outside, and we never came back here. Put stops right here, and you could target up here. Then use the 5-minute trail. If y'all want to follow along today, we did this 225-2026. I'll put that in the title description. But yeah, we're doing, like I said, we're trading prop firm right now. We're going to get this prop firm. We're going to get this payout. And we're going to make this money on my soul. Let's get to it. Love y'all. Peace.